The away team is back for the second session of our film club, broadening our cinematic horizons with more classic movies. Beware spoilers ahead as we review another double bill. Hello and welcome to Playback-React. This is the away team's film night episode 2. I'm joined by Salty Pop Jimmy, Bit Sean, Novak Aaron, I'm DeepSpaceLuke, and we are going to pick a name from a hat of a film we're going to watch tonight and review.
Don't be Brazil.
Oh, please.
Three Jimmy films in a row. It actually is. It is Brazil.
Jimmy's out already.
Yeah.
Bye, mate. It was nice knowing you.
The tension's gone.
Directed by Terry Gilliam. I think that's probably all you need to know.
Okay.
Terry Gilliam, Bureaucracy.
Okay.
Do you wake from your finest fantasy only to return to your daily nightmare? It's about flights of fantasy and the nightmare of reality. Brazil.
You're so pleased. You can make it.
My first thought was it was kind of like 1984 crossed with We Happy Few, the video game.
It was originally going to be called 1984 and a half.
Oh, that's fun.
But they
Too on the nose.
But they couldn't. They had difficulty with the George Orwell estate.
The whole kind of putting a smiley face on a miserable society thing.
Yes. It started to become more and more absurd though.
Did it get more absurd, or was it just always there, just was never acted upon?
Well, I think that our main character is someone who is very happy just to coast along in this life.
Did the terrorists actually exist, or was it the government enacting the terrorism? Because you never saw anyone. They just explosions happened. They dealt with it.
Yeah.
Was it keeping everyone in check?
And they're just using the explosions as a scapegoat and lumping them all together.
Yeah.
But having a boiler repairman as the face of the resistance.
That being said, right at the end where it was all the resistance,
in his mind,
was he part of that giant resistance, or was he literally just a freelance, I'm just here to fix your boiler?
And that's like 1984, you never really find out if there is a resistance.
What about the visual aesthetic? During the film, someone commented about it being very much like a Escher
Yeah.
visualised in reality.
It had like a kind of silent film vibe to it.
Yeah.
There was a mild
Like if you watch,
film
if you look at like Fritz Lang, like
Yeah.
Metropolis.
That office where it was split in two was so cool.
Yes.
One of the filing cabinets was clearly like there's a wall
It
burnt
wasn't
between
even
it.
symmetrical.
No.
Like the
And you think-
calendar in the background was like
The
half a
picture.
calendar.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, how would that practically work? But then I thought, no, Luke, you're not thinking the right way there.
have to pull
Of
the
course, that's the
cabinet
point.
across.
Well, that's the thing. It wouldn't work. It's hugely inefficient and pointless.
That song, every time there was like bureaucratic goodness going on, was that the thing? The really upbeat, like, as I said, every time there was business going on, there was that jingle going on.
in the corridors, the deserted vast labyrinth of corridors at his new job, he was like looking around. It was silent, and suddenly here was all the people.
And they're all decision makers, aren't they?
But they're
no,
all
it's just one man.
They're all decision makers, but they're just asking him.
The whole romance subplot was very thin.
Yes.
She sort of immediately went from "you're a crazy stalker who lost me my job and nearly killed me" to
And then, oh, you saved me.
"I'm gonna you in your mum's bed."
Yeah. Best line of the film.
How about some necrophilia?
How about some necrophilia?
A lot of British cast, a lot of famous names.
Solid British.
So Jonathan Pryce, who we would know as the High Sparrow in Game of Thrones. Of course, you've got Michael Palin in there.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Beautiful British absurdist comedy because of it.
Yeah.
Absurdist and just cynical.
Okay, so when we rate this film out of dogs, again, where are we at?
This is how we're doing it. It was 2.5 because there was
We had two real dogs and
Chinese
one
water dog.
picture of a dog.
a pug with a censored butthole and a
With
picture.
tape over his bum. So the reason behind the name of the film, I bet you're all on tenterhooks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Well, there is
Because
the
that's
song.
the song.
That's the
It's
song.
literally named
Was it
after
called Brazil?
the
Because
song.
I saw it in the credits. Like it was
Yeah.
Brazil. Like, well, that's the name of the film.
One of the first cassette albums I ever owned was like a 4-tape greatest movie themes. I knew this song before I ever watched this film.
Ooh, I don't know.
Give it a fondle.
Can you imagine if I just pick another Jimmy film?
Somehow.
Even though we've not written any down,
Season
somehow.
2 Jimmy already.
It is Being John Malkovich.
Oh.
Lovely one.
Welcome to the 7.5th floor of the Merton Plumber Building.
There's a tiny door in my office, Maxine, and it takes you inside John Malkovich.
There's no such thing as a hole into somebody's brain.
See the world through John Malkovich's eyes, and then after about 15 minutes,
That's not me. I didn't say that.
you're spit out into a ditch on the side of the New Jersey Turnpike.
Being John Malkovich.
Well, I enjoyed it a lot, and
I did too. I've seen bits and pieces before. That's the first time I think I've seen it start to finish, and it kind of like comes across as if it's going to be some weird psychological film from the presentation. And it kind of starts out that way, like an office comedy, and then suddenly it takes a turn that's
existential.
Yeah, black comedy.
Oh yeah, it's the fact it didn't start off with anything to do with John Malkovich. It was the point when I asked, "When's John Malkovich coming into the set?" Oh, wait for it.
Yeah, and it was about 20 minutes in or so.
Oh, no, it's longer than
That's so good. The right vessel, the larval vessel.
Lore.
There's a whole
the deep lore.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I wasn't expecting that kind of.
Where did that book come from? Where did they get that information?
That's a good question.
Well, it was the Irish guy that discovered that built the building, wasn't he? So I assume it was some.
It was in the
Oh, yeah, right,
That's what
okay,
he
yeah.
said, like forever.
Yeah.
So he was always aware of it and has moved from body to body to body. That whole scene with just Malkovich.
Malkovich.
That was just meme worthy back in the day as well. It just
Yeah, and that's the comparison with the Nicolas Cage version of that same sort of like a film about a real actor and sort of a self-parody. It wasn't just John Malkovich sort of playing a bewildered version of himself. He like committed to being that alternate version by the end.
I read about it, and he didn't take on the part any differently to any other part.
Yeah.
He was just like, okay, this is a completely different character that I'm playing. It's, draws on the sort of the perception I think he had, where he was a little bit kind of aloof and kind of weird.
Yeah. But that part only lasts a little while, and then strange things start happening. Eventually, it's not even him. So that's a real change. That's true acting.
He's really good now. I mean, everyone's good.
Everyone's great.
Really, really good cast.
Some of the lines in it are just brilliant. So, some of the sort of very subtle comedy.
Low overheads.
Low overhead. Yeah.
I think the funniest thing for me was like infomercial that was like the history of the building.
Yeah.
It's like a place for you and you're a cursed guy.
We now know to be the same dude in Lester's body.
Your story has moved me, so I shall make ye me wife.
It's got a appropriate ending because no one really, apart from Malkovich himself, and I guess the chimp, were that likeable.
No, all of them were assholes.
Yeah.
To one extent or another.
Really unlikable.
I mean, I guess his wife was alright. I mean, she fell in love with another woman, but...
If this was being made today and retold today, I think she'd be a lot more of a sympathetic character.
Yes,
maybe. There was a couple of nowadays no words.
Yes, there was some words that would not have been appropriate.
Not appropriate.
And a lot of strong language, but kind of not over the top.
There were only 1-2 F-bombs.
Yeah, overall, really good film. Better than I remember it being.
Same. I remember enjoying it.
I didn't actually think we'd literally get this moment. Not precisely this shot, but a room, a world full of John Malkoviches. I thought it was much more likely that this was just representing all the people going through the experience.
I don't know how you felt, because you've only seen clips of.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen it. I know you two both have years ago. But how did you feel going into this all but blind? Because I was totally blind for this.
I felt that it would be a more psychological piece with sort of slightly comedic elements, whereas it was much more of a comedy.
I thought it was going to be biographical with elements of that sort of thing.
I hadn't thought of.
Follow him in a sense, and then sort of go the different point of views, or as if it were him. But no idea.
Well, what a film night!
Yeah.
2 great films.
It's been a good one.
Yeah. And so the loss of yours.
I am out.
I'm one down.
One down. So what? Next 2 are yours again, or?
Yeah, that seems to be. Well, we were saying Brick and Usual Suspects would be a great double bill.
Thank you for joining the Away Team's Film Club, Spacers. Maybe you should check out these movies. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more gaming and geeking with a mix of sci-fi missions and social shenanigans. So be sure to come along for the Odyssey, and I'll see you again after a while.